Hello. Sorry.
Alles gut,
Hallo,
Simon.
Hallo Neil.
ich habe kleine Durchgespräche.
Ah, great.
Hello, Neil. Great to see you. Yeah, it's our fifth meeting today. That's very, very great. And we have today many interesting people here at our side. But first question, you know, how are you today?
Well, let's see. Pulse is normal. Temperature is normal.
Okay.
Uh, Teeth are not falling out yet. I guess I'm okay.
Okay, ready for takeoff.
That is
Perfect.
good. That is good, Neil. Yeah, that is
Who
very
is
good.
who is that beautiful lady?
Hi, my name is Franzi.
See, she knew who I was talking about. Well, I said, "Who's that beautiful lady?" And she said, "I'm a beautiful lady, so he must be talking about me."
I'm the only
She's
lady.
yeah.
Yeah. Neil, this time the guests will like to introduce themselves. Nicholas at first.
Okay.
Nicholas is my son's name.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
great.
Good.
Well, good omen. Well, I'm very pleased we can talk today. And thank you very much for your time. My name is Nicholas. I'm from Germany, like all others too. I'm 56 years old and I work as a freelancer data protection official. So it's more a technical legal job. I'm here because Torge invited me. Thank you very much for that. And in the last 1.5 years, I've read all these 9 conversation books, and I heard all the 3 audiobooks. And all this has fundamentally changed me and my life and what I do completely. And finally, after 30 years of searching, I found my spiritual home port in the messages of conversation with God. And so I'm very grateful for that, absolutely. And what you see behind is a pop-up poster. I use it at spiritual fairs when I sell your books. So this is standing there and people see it. And you can see people coming to me smiling. I know, oh, they read the books and they are completely amazed by it. Others don't know it, and then I grab them and talk to them. So that's to my person.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas, and I'm glad you have my son's name.
Great.
Yeah. The next is Simon.
Oh,
Hello.
my son's other name is Zim. No, just
Huh? Really?
no, just fooling.
Kidding.
Okay. Hello, Neil. My name is Simon. I'm 28 years old, and Torge invited me as well. Thank you very much for that, Torge. And I'm a student and at the university. I'm on the way to become a teacher, and I studied the subjects philosophy, psychology, and history. And I also work as a maths tutor at a company called Schülerhilfe, English Study Help, and I help students on Zoom with maths. And I have also a YouTube channel where I deliver new perspectives about world views. Yeah, I think that's enough for now. Uh,
Thank you.
Yeah. Mike, your turn.
Hey Neil, my name is
Oh, I have
Raik.
a son named Mike.
Sweet. Yeah, your jokes are very good. Um, Thank you for your time. My English is not the best level, yet my girlfriend Franzi is a translate wenn ich nicht weiterkomme. Ja, also manchmal nutze ich wahrscheinlich deutsche Wörter. But we have a story for the end. Then we tell us when the best time is. No, then I'm Mike, this is Francie. We come from Germany, from Bremen. Thank you for your time, Neil, and yeah. Thank you so much. We are big fans then from Gespräche with God. It's a very inspiration of us, and we have many ideas. My English view not the best level, but then it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for telling me that. And if you really are connected with that lady next to you, who you call your girlfriend, then you are one of the luckiest men in the world.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. At the beginning, I would like to bring up a topic that fits well with your new book, God Talk, Neale. And I must say, this book will also be released in German this December. It's a perfect Christmas present, I think. Yeah. Okay, Neale, a lot has happened since we last met. And what I want to tell you might shock you. During this time, I became very sick. I developed very strong fear. It came from terrible and scary symptoms that almost made me lose my mind. And I never thought something like this could happen to me. And this fear, together with deep depression, got worse and worse. I reached a point where I felt completely hopeless. It was like living in a dark hole with no way out. Every day I felt frozen by fear, and every night my thoughts would not stop. The pain was so much that I felt I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to go
Physical pain or emotional pain?
emotional pain.
Okay, I got
Emotional
you.
and physical pain. It was together.
Both.
It was together. And I decided to go to a clinic to get help. But my time there was the hardest time of my life. I didn't get the help I was hoping for. Even strong medicine didn't work. Inside I was crying out for help, but it felt like nothing could save me. Therapy and talking didn't help either. Each week I felt worse and I started thinking about ending my life. And one day near the end of my time in the clinic, I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to stay and I didn't want to go back home. I just wanted the pain to stop. So I left the clinic and I ran into a forest. Alone in the middle of a forest, I decided I couldn't go on. But then something surprising happened. In my deepest pain, I called out to God. Maybe it was because I was so desperate, or maybe it came from somewhere deep inside me. But this time I called out to him with all my heart. And then something strange happened. It felt like something woke up inside me and around me. I felt warmth, light, and a presence. I didn't know how to explain it. Suddenly, I feel like I wasn't alone anymore. I felt peace, something I hadn't felt for a long time. I also felt like I was being cared for. And the moment changed everything. I was like it was a little like light of hope appeared in the middle of the darkness. And the light didn't go away. The pain didn't stop right away, and getting better was hard and slow. But now I had something new, a feeling that I could get through it. When I look back now, I don't just see fear and sadness. I also see God. I believe he came to me in that forest. He heard me when I called him and showed me that even in the darkest moment, there is still hope. It took time, but I healed. You see me here. Now I am stronger and more thankful than ever. This experience changed my life. It taught me that there is always a way forward, even if we can't see it yet. Yeah, that is my story, and I think it's in your book. There is the topic that God always talks to us. Neale, do you think God talks to me in that forest?
Yes. And I think that God talks to all people all the time. All of us are having conversations with God all the time. Many people simply call those conversations something else. In English, we sometimes call it an epiphany. Oh, I had an epiphany. Or I had a brilliant idea. Or I had a sudden insight. Or I had an expanded awareness. Or we even call it women's intuition. We have lots of ways of referring to the same exact experience, which is the experience of connecting with the source of highest wisdom and highest power. And that source, in my understanding, Torge, does not exist outside of us, way up there somewhere. It exists inside of us.
Yeah.
So that what happened to you in the forest was that the wisdom, the love, the awareness that already exists inside of you was simply called forward and allowed you to experience that aspect of who you really are.
Yeah.
I forgot. Tell me how old you are.
32.
32. My golly. You have 50 more years to live before
no.
you're my age. You have a half century to live before you're my age. I have lived 1/2 century more than you.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always hope. And what you
Yeah.
want to hope is that you do not live to be 81, like me.
Yeah, Neale, I think also there was this God that you talk about, this God, and in your books, and I understand in this experience, this God is real. This God is not only an idea. This God is really real. And I'm so thankful for my belief in this God, and it saved my life. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that I'm now sitting here in front of you, and I can say this to you, and that you don't hear Torge's dead or something. Yeah. Our God is really a great God, and it's not only an idea, it's a real God.
Reality.
Yeah.
We call it in English the ultimate reality.
The ultimate reality. Yeah. Thank you, Neale. The next part has Nicholas.
Yes, thank you. So my first question is, what is your experience with the title Conversation with God? So the title itself, because personally the word God put me off at first, and I hesitated a long time before I started the audiobook. And I know that many other people feel the same way. Neale, what experience did you have with this title? And maybe did you perhaps have another title in your mind when you wrote the first book?
No, 9. I never had a different title in mind, and I did not have any resistance to the word God, because Nicholas, since I was a child, I believed that there is some kind of a higher power. And I use the word God. Some people call it Allah. Brahman, Yahweh, Jehovah. We have different names that we use, but it's the same thing. It's the highest power. And here, you know what's interesting, Nicholas? Surveys have been taken by sociologists. Social scientists have been taking surveys in the past 15 years in every nation on earth: Germany, Russia, Japan, China, France, England, the United States, and they ask one question on the survey, one question. Do you believe in a higher power? Nicholas, 87% of the people answered yes. Not just Spanish, not just German, not just French, not just Russian, not just Chinese, everywhere across the planet, 87% of the people said they believe in a higher power. So most people do believe that there's more going on here than meets the eye. There's some kind of higher power. So there are a few people who may have a resistance to the word God, but they are in a decided minority, small number of people.
Okay. So I was one of them, but not anymore.
But I never had that problem. I never was resisting to the word God. I was raised as a Roman Catholic, and I was raised to believe that there is a higher power, that there's a higher power.
Okay.
I'm glad that you have come to an understanding that there is a higher power.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Okay. Next
Sehr
point
gut,
is
sehr gut, mein Freund.
Sehr gut. Sehr gut ist sehr gut. I'm sure that many other people also ask this, but I'm interested. Do you still write letters to God, and does he answer by your pen?
Yes. Yeah,
Great.
I still sometimes ask God questions. They come in the form of, when I write another book. So as I do my writing or online, I have a platform online, Nicholas, called Ask Neale. And so people ask and type in their questions, and I give them answers 3 times a day. I'm there 3 times a day. So when someone asks me a question, I go inside, I think to myself, what does God want this person to know? And then I allow that to come through me.
Okay. So you're still channeling, to say so.
Yes,
Yes,
I would.
great.
That's been my experience.
Yes. In the meantime, so for the last month, I discovered books from Jane Roberts. She wrote books in the 1960s, so this is 60 years ago. She was American, and she channeled a being called Seth. And her major book is Conversations with Seth, so quite similar title.
Yeah, Seth Speaks.
Seth Speaks, it's exactly. The messages, I was absolutely astonished, are in complete and full alignment with Conversations with God. And I'm really amazed about it. And my question is, did you ever read these books?
No, I never read them when they first came out, because at that time, a little bit like you, I wasn't interested. I didn't have an interest. I was involved in my life, my career, my marriage, my children. So I kind of like, honestly, I wrote it off. I dismissed it as some kind of a,
stuff.
She was imagining, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then after I had my own experience, I also did not read the book because I didn't want what she wrote to have any influence on what I was experiencing.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from all the books of a spiritual nature. I stayed away from her books. I didn't read anything by Deepak Chopra. I didn't read anything by Marianne Williamson. I didn't read anything by any person who was putting out a book that I thought might influence what I was experiencing.
Yeah, makes sense, absolutely. But it's kind of lonesome, no? Without reading, I couldn't live without reading. But you had your
Well, I
sources,
didn't,
it's okay.
but I didn't say I didn't read anything. I just said I didn't read any spiritual books.
Well,
But I read science. I read lots of science books. I read lots of political books, very interesting political books. And I read some, fictional stories.
Yeah.
So I didn't say I'd stopped reading, but I did not read any book that had to do with spirituality or messages from the divine.
Yeah. So these books are really worth reading, by the way. So great. On last Saturday, I founded a political party with some friends, also Torge. The name of the political party is Positive Future Germany, and this is the logo here. We stand for spirituality and common good. And of course, this is hugely inspired by Conversations of God. Absolutely. Everybody founding this party has read the books. And we have worldwide contacts. And I wonder, do you know any other political parties that have been founded on these books? Because I'd like to get in contact with them.
Honestly, no one else has told me that. So my answer to your question is I'm not specifically aware. I can't say that it's not happening, but no one has said to me that this is what is occurring. So I don't have an answer to your question.
Okay. So we are the first ones.
Could very well be.
So now there is a political party, and we're
But
looking
I'm
very
excited.
forward.
I'm excited to hear about this. Thank you for telling me about this.
Our goals and our aims are, of course, in great contrast to the actual politics. It's a completely different world. And I wonder, how do you assess the actual situation of humanity? And are we slowly get ready for preparation for a political change? Do we have a chance, if this is the right word in English?
Yes, it is the right word. But first, tell me again the name of your political party in English.
It's Positive Future Germany.
Positive Future of Germany?
3 words, Positive Future Germany.
Oh, Positive Future Germany. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. I'll have to look that up. And I'm happy to know about that political party. I was told in my conversations with God that the political landscape, the political scenery, the political culture of humanity is going to change in this 30-year period that we are now in. That I was told that years ago. So we're now in the middle of this time, and I think that we are in the midst of tremendous political change, and all we have to do now is reach what sociologists call critical mass, the number of people that it takes for the first domino to fall. Do you understand that metaphor, the first domino?
Yes.
Do they play dominoes in Germany?
Absolutely.
Okay, so all we need is 7% of the whole number, between 5 and 10%, 7.5% of the whole number have to embrace a particular notion. And the first domino falls and the rest will follow.
Yeah.
So, and I believe that could happen in the next 15 or 20 years.
Well, that's my time horizon, so that fits very well.
Perfect.
Do you have any tips for us to draw attention to ourselves?
Make sure that everything you think and say and do is a reflection of the highest principles that you are sharing with others. Stay away from verbal attacks. stay away from defensiveness, stay away from any kind of negative energy.
Mhm.
Even when people disagree with you, say to them, we can understand how you could disagree. And let us find a way to disagree agreeably. That's what we say in English.
Mhm.
Can we agree to disagree agreeably?
Okay. Mhm. Yes. I'm
Can
sure
we
we will
can
do
we
it like
be
this.
can we be agreeable
Yeah.
when we disagree? And if that's what the party demonstrates, people will be drawn to that, because I think that one thing that people are tired of is all the opposition we are seeing between
Yeah.
groups, between countries, between political parties, between sexual orientation, between religious beliefs, between blacks and whites, gays and straights, male and female. Everybody is against everybody else.
Mhm.
I've never seen it like that on the planet before, not at that level.
Yeah.
So when they see that Positive Future Germany is practicing what it preaches, as we say in English,
Mhm.
practice what you preach.
Yeah.
When everything that you say and all the statements that are made publicly are demonstrations of your highest understanding, people will be drawn to your movement. They will
Yeah.
say, at last, at last.
Yeah. Yeah.
But finally.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, these were my main questions. I have 3 additional ones, but I put them back. So, Torge, we can continue. Thank you very much, Neale.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
Simon is the next, but wait, Raik, can it be that I forget to introduce you? Raik,
Meinst du mich
habe
jetzt?
ich vergessen, dich vorzustellen?
Ja. Aber
Oh, Neil, I'm a bad guy. I'm a really, really bad guy.
Well, we already know that.
Yeah, Raik is there for technology today. Now, I had many problems with that. And he's also a member of the League of Pantheists. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so a bad guy. Simon, now is your turn.
Hello, Neil, again. It's a big honor for me to meet you, and it's a big pleasure for me as well. First, I want to tell you the story how I got involved with your books. When my mother was together with my father, she gave your books as a present to him. And then when she left him, she got a hint from above that she should keep these books. And then she take these books with her. And later, when I discovered the books by an invisible force, which forced me to click on your audiobook on YouTube. And in the first sentence, you are in the situation to make an unusual experience. I knew it is going to be an unusual experience. And then I told my mother, hey, mom, I have discovered a book called Conversations with God. And she showed me the books in her bookshelf, and there were your books. It was incredible. And this is my first question. In which position did you realize that you are talking with God the first time?
Very soon after I had the experience, maybe within 2 or 3 weeks, at first I thought I might be imagining it,
Mhm.
making it all up in my mind. But then I realized that I must be talking with God, because what I was hearing in response to my questions, I was hearing things that I never thought of before in my life. I was hearing answers that I never heard from any religion, any culture, any upbringing. My parents never said anything like it. I just felt that I was hearing things that only God could be telling me. So I think it took me maybe 3 or 4 weeks for me to be convinced, oh, I'm talking to God. God is talking to me. And then I asked God, why me? Why are you talking to me? And that's when God said to me, Neale, I'm talking to everybody all the time. It's not just you.
But you are one of the people who listens to God. And that's the point.
Yeah, that's the question. That's exactly right. The question is not to whom is God talking. The question is who's listening.
Yeah. Very, very good. The next is the League of Pantheists, which I'm a member of. First, I discovered a video from Torge, and he mentioned your books. And at this time, I realized immediately this man, Torge, is my brother. It was incredible. And the next question I have for you is, what is the first group that comes in your mind where you think this books combines people together? For example, the League of Pantheists is a group which has something to do with your books. And what is the first group which has to do with your books, where you can say your books connect the people together?
I don't think in those terms.
Yes.
I don't have an idea of
Yeah.
which group it is. Oh, I know in America, I know which group it is. It's the Republican Party. No, it's the Democratic Party. No,
Okay.
it's the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
No, it's the gay. No, I don't know. No, I don't dare even suggest a name, because as soon as I do, everybody else will jump on it and make it wrong. So
Yeah,
I don't
you're right.
I don't try to name groups.
Yeah. Okay, you're right, of course. And the next thing is, I want to tell you about a miracle which I have experienced. My mother and I ask ourselves, should we give up because we had a problem? And then 2 minutes later, we go to have an ice cream, and we go to a shed. We went to a shed, and on the roof of the shed, it was incredible. There was a shield, and on the shield there was the text, "Never give up." It was a miracle. And I remembered immediately what you have written in your books. Think about the next newspaper you read. Think about the next thing what someone says to you, and think about the next song you hear on the radio. All those things are things which are tools of God to communicate with us. And the next thing is, I've read your book, A God Talk, um, and I have also a TikTok account where I talk about quotes of your books. And the quote what I have chosen is the 3 ways how God talks with us. The 3 signs. The first sign is that it's a lovely energy. You can feel it. The second sign is that God's message don't let you hurt another person or yourself. And the third sign is that is also in your best interest. And yeah, we have to be aware that our ego has its own imagination, what is in my best interest, and we don't know the higher context. And so in the afterwards, you realize that it was um, in our best interest. And on my other YouTube channel, I have a mission to create a new consciousness for worldviews, to deliver arguments why hell doesn't make sense and reincarnation makes sense and so on. And my question for you is, do you think we should people leave alone because um, every human wakes up in their time, or do you think we should inspire other people for new perspectives in a respectful way?
Of course, the second choice. I think that people should try to inspire. I think we should act and behave in a way that inspires other people to
Yes.
open to the highest truth about life. Of course.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's
Or as you would
what.
say,
Yeah.
natürlich.
Yes, of course. Yes, 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 yes.
Natürlich.
You're right. Yeah, that was everything from my side. Thank you very much for your
You're welcome.
attention and for work and for everything. Thank you
Yeah.
that you there are.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Bitte,
Yeah.
bitte schön.
Okay, thank you, Simon. And now is Mike.
Ja, frage ich mal, ob es okay ist, wenn du übersetzt.
He asked if it is okay if I translate his words for you.
Yes, if you speak loudly.
I try.
Perfekt. Dankeschön. Ja, zu Beginn würde ich dir gerne eine kleine Geschichte erzählen.
For the beginning, he wants to tell you a story.
Und dafür würde ich gerne etwas ausholen und wollte mir keine Fehler erlauben, deswegen das übersetzen. Ich bin dieses Jahr 30 Jahre alt geworden.
He became 30 this year.
Und in meiner Kindheit war es so, dass meine Mutter mir immer Geschichten vorgelesen hat.
And in his childhood, his mother used to tell him stories, bedtime stories.
Dies fand ich immer echt unglaublich toll und das hat mich auch damals schon immer sehr inspiriert und ja.
He really liked that as a child, and it really inspired him to hear her stories.
Und diese Geschichten haben damals halt schon meine Fantasie angetrieben, da ich schon damals als Kind eine starke Vorstellungskraft hatte.
And it really triggered his fantasy, and he had a really big imagination when he was a child.
Und sobald ich älter wurde und ich selber anfangen sollte zu lesen, habe ich irgendwie gemerkt, wie schwer das war, weil ich Legastheniker war als Kind und auch gestottert hatte.
When he grew up, he started reading, and he realized how hard it is to read because he was Legastheniker. I don't know the word.
That's no lesen, kann schwierig lesen.
Dyslexic?
Yes.
Dyslexic, yes, I understand. Ik verstehe.
Perfect. And he stuttered a lot.
Und meine Mutter hat sich viel Mühe gegeben, dass ich anfange, Bücher zu lesen, aber sie ist leider jedes Mal daran gescheitert.
His mother really wanted him to read books, but he resisted because of his stuttering and because he couldn't read that well, and she couldn't get him to do it.
Sie hatte
Natürlich.
Ja,
Ja,
natürlich.
genau,
Ne?
natürlich.
Sie hatte ganz viel Hoffnung und hat mir spannende Bücher immer wieder geschenkt, aber wirklich nach über 20 Jahren hat sie es leider nicht geschafft, mir was zu schenken.
And she didn't achieve it in 20 years with him, and she did everything she could.
Dies zog sich bis zu meinem 20. Lebensjahr, wo mir ein Freund ein Buch schenkte.
When he was 20, a friend gave him a book as a gift.
Und jetzt würde man denken, es wäre dein Buch, übersetzt mal.
You would think it was your book at
Aber
this
es war
point.
es nicht. Es war
But
das
it
Buch.
wasn't.
Es war Ratschläge des Herzens vom Dalai Lama.
It was the German title is Ratschläge des Herzens from Dalai Lama, a book from Dalai
Okay, goodbye.
Ja, goodbye. Genau. Und jetzt der Dalai Lama war für mich auch nie irgendwie etwas, was mich inspiriert hat. Aber es, genau,
The Dalai Lama wasn't really inspiring for him at this
Oh,
point.
okay,
Hello.
then I'm back.
Aber sag ich mal, es waren eher so die Dinge, die mir als Jugendlicher geholfen haben, weil das war mein erstes Buch, was Persönlichkeitsentwicklung Inhalt hatte.
But some things helped him because it was the first book that had to do with personal development, some things, and it helped him to get the foot in the door with
Das erste
reading
Buch,
and
was
stuff.
ich selber
Yes.
gelesen habe überhaupt.
It was the first book he wrote and read in his life.
Und seit diesem Tag an habe ich angefangen, Bücher zu verschlingen und habe mein Wissen breit aufgestellt und extrem viele Bücher gelesen.
And since then, he wrote a lot of books. I know his shelf. There are many books. He wrote them all.
Und habe an meinen Schwächen gearbeitet und die nächste ist natürlich Englisch zu lernen.
And he worked on his weaknesses, he calls it. And one of them is, of course, to learn English.
Und jetzt komme ich zu meinem Punkt. Erzähl mal, jetzt komme ich zu meinem Punkt.
So now he comes to the point where his story began.
Vor knapp 5 Jahren hatte ich dann allerdings einen ganz besonderen Moment, weshalb ich ausgeholt habe.
5 years ago, he had a really special moment in his life.
Ich stand vor meinem Bücherregal und hatte überlegt, welches Buch ich als nächstes lesen soll.
He stood in front of his bookshelf and wanted to decide which book he wants to read.
Und ich stand vor diesem mittlerweile riesigen Bücherregal mit vielen Werken, die ich noch lesen wollte. Und plötzlich rief mich eine Stimme.
And suddenly, he was in front of all these books with all this great stuff in it, and then a voice called to him.
Aber es war kein Wort, sondern etwas wie ein Gefühl.
But it was more feeling than a word in this moment.
Es fühlte sich warm und vertraut an und ich hatte so ein Gefühl auch noch nie vorher gespürt.
It was warm and comfy, and he never felt it before.
Ich bin der Stimme gefolgt und entdeckte das Buch Gespräche mit Gott in meinem Regal.
He followed this feeling and found your book in his shelf.
Ich hatte einen Freund, der mir das vor Monaten mal geschenkt hatte, ich es aber nicht wirklich beachtet hatte bis zu diesem Moment.
A friend gave it to him some months, weeks ago, and he never paid much attention to it. It was only in his shelf, and then was the moment where he picked it up.
Ich habe es in die Hand genommen und ich war überwältigt von der Energie, die alleine von diesem Werk ausging, ohne dass ich es aufgeblättert habe.
He was overwhelmed from the energy that only came from touching this book in this moment.
Ich schlug dieses Buch auf und ich spürte direkt diesen Dialog, den du auch in diesem Buch hattest selber mit Gott. Also ich verspürte selber eine Verbindung dazu.
He felt a really big connection to what he read at the first moment in this book when he picked it up.
Ich habe es förmlich aufgesaugt und auf mich wirken lassen. Ja,
He swallowed it, he said. Also, he couldn't stop reading it. It consumed him.
Aber auch schlussendlich gab mir dieses Buch sehr viel Inspiration, mein eigenes Buch zu schreiben.
It really inspired him to write a book himself.
Ich wusste noch nicht, was es werden soll, aber mir war irgendwie klar, dass mein Herz mich da leiten wird.
He didn't know at this moment what book he would write, but he knew that he had to follow his heart in this moment.
Und ich wollte dir erstmal an dieser Stelle megamäßig danken für diese überragende Inspiration, für dieses Meisterwerk, weil ich habe es jetzt 4 Jahre.
He really wants to thank you for this inspiration that your book gave him in this moment.
Weil ich habe es jetzt 4 Jahre gebraucht und ich habe es diese Woche fertiggestellt.
Because he worked 4 years now on his book, and it's almost ready to get released next month.
Yeah, thank you.
He really thanks you.
Dann ich habe es jetzt fertiggestellt und kam es wie aus einem, also ich will noch mal kurz ausholen zu dem Moment, wo ich angefangen habe,
He wants to get to the point where he started his book.
weil die Idee kam aus heiterem Himmel von oben wie ein Blitz in meinen Kopf.
The idea came like a lightning strike in one moment to him.
Wir erzählen Kindern Geschichten zum Einschlafen und Erwachsenen, damit sie aufwachen.
We tell children stories to fall asleep, but we tell stories adults to wake up, he says.
Ah,
Mm.
very clever, very clever. We
Und ich,
tell stories to children to fall asleep, and we tell stories to adults to wake up. Wow, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that in my next book.
ich wusste, mit dem kriegen wir.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Und deswegen hatte ich überlegt, ob es was über mich sein soll oder über Wissen, was ich habe.
He thought about how to write it, if it has to be a story about him or how to live your life or something
Aber
like
ich habe
that.
mich für eine Fantasy-Geschichte entschieden,
But he decided to write a fantasy story,
die 9 Bände hat.
which will have it will be a row of 9 books.
Ich habe mich am ersten Abend direkt rangesetzt und habe es über mich geschehen lassen und wie von Zauberhand einfach geschrieben, so ein bisschen wie du es in deinem eigenen Buch beschrieben hast.
He sat down at one night and just kept writing like you told. He couldn't stop, like you tell it in your book. It just overcame him in this moment.
Ich schrieb und schrieb und schrieb und hörte einfach nicht mehr auf und merkte um 4 Uhr nachts, einfach wo ich darauf schaute, dass die ganze Nacht schon fast verflogen war.
Yeah, he wrote the whole night, and then it was 4 a.m. in the morning, and he realized, oops, I didn't stop writing. The time was flying by in this moment.
Ich bekomme gerade sogar wieder Gänsehaut, wenn ich daran
I
denke.
get goosebumps right now.
Ja, wie gesagt, vielmals danke und jetzt auch natürlich auch die Frage,
The question is,
hast du in diesem Moment einen Ratschlag für mich als jungen Schriftsteller hier in Deutschland ohne Vorerfahrung, wie ich es schaffe, etwas als Self-Publisher ja zu vertreiben oder wie hast du es gemacht? Vielleicht hast du da ja
do we have some
Ratschläge.
advice for him, because he never did it before, how to release his book, how to spread his word and what he wants to get out in the world? Do you have some advice?
I have written a paper called 12 Tips on How to Write and Publish a Book.
Er hat einen Bericht geschrieben, wo er 12 Tipps gibt, wie
Oh.
man ein Buch
Cool.
rausgibt in die Welt.
If you send me an email, Franzi, if you send me an email,
Ja,
I will send you that paper that talks about how to write and publish a book.
ja, wir können ihm eine
Oh.
E-Mail schicken und er schickt uns
Cool.
dieses Schriftstück.
Thank you very much, Neil.
You know, but let me give you some tips here, right here on the program.
Perfect.
First, set a deadline. Decide when you're going to be finished completely with your first book.
Setz dir eine Deadline, wann genau dein Buch fertiggestellt sein soll.
Second, find a title that you want to use. Give your book a title.
He has already a
Oh,
title.
okay, good. Okay, good. Third, find a literary agent. Do you have a literary agent?
Yeah, yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Oh, well, if you have a
It's
literary,
already
It's
finished.
this week it's already finished. We can buy it.
Yes, he wants, also the cover is done, the title.
oh well,
is
then
almost
let the
ready.
literary agent do the work. The
Einfach,
literary agent will find a publisher for you.
die soll das für dich machen.
Meine
Be-
Literatur.
because the literary agent let me put it this way. Literary agents make a living. That's how they earn their income, by finding publishers who want to put out your book. So sit back,
Ich finde,
relax, and let the literary agent find your publisher.
einfach zurücklehnen und deine Assistentin da machen lassen, denn es ist ihr Job, dein Buch rauszubringen.
Ich habe eine Assistentin, die mir zeigt, wie jeder Schritt selber funktioniert. Also ich mache sie als Self-Publisher.
He has an assistant who shows him how to do it himself. So she doesn't do it for him. He goes the steps alone his way and she assists him a
Also ich
bit.
habe keine Profis an meiner Seite, aber will es zu einem Meisterwerk oder einem Bestseller natürlich gestalten. So, und da ist natürlich es hilfreich, vielleicht Tipps von jemandem zu haben, der schon einen Bestseller geschrieben hat, wie sowas dann überhaupt funktioniert. Also brauche ich da bestimmte Plattformen oder Ansprechpartner, vielleicht die dabei helfen können.
He wants to know which platform is the best to to bring
To
it
create
out
it,
in the world.
to create a bestseller.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the bestseller.
Yes, yes.
See,
Do not self-publish it.
not?
That's not the best platform.
Yes,
The best platform is to have your literary agent find a publisher.
Du sollst deine Literaturassistentin für dich einen Publisher finden
What is
lassen.
the title of the book?
It's Der Schatz von Limea, The Treasure of Limea.
The treasure of what?
Limea.
this is a fantasy word.
Limea. Limea.
Meine Geschichten, die daran aufbauen, basieren alle natürlich auf der Grundlage Liebe oder den Dingen, also Weisheiten.
His book, the foundation of his book is how to spread love. Was war's?
Angst, Emotions oder Weisheit natürlich im Leben.
To spread wisdom, how to I don't know the word right now, but it's like a spiritual guide, but in form of a fictional fantasy roman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what will sell the book is what we call in English a subtitle, a drop line. So if it's tell me the title again. Is it the fantasy of
The Treasure of Limea.
Okay, the treasure of Ime, and then beneath that it says a fantasy story that could change the world.
Und als Titel eine Fantasy Story, die das Leben verändern könnte.
This is good.
Yes, a fantasy story that could change the world.
Fantasiegeschichte, die die Welt verändern könnte.
Now I have to pick up the book. I have to pick it up. I want to know what it says.
Das Buch in die Hand nehmen.
Das musste man vorher wahrscheinlich auch, aber das ist die Kirsche auf der Sahne. Das ist gut.
He really likes it.
And when you put that on the cover of the book, it will make the book magnetic. We have to find out what it says.
Wenn du das mit aufs Cover drauf machst, muss der Leser rausfinden, was das Buch der Inhalt ist.
Ja, das ist schon mal ein sehr guter Ratschlag auf jeden Fall.
It's really good advice.
Ja.
I only want 45% of the royalties.
Er möchte nur 54% vom Einkommen.
Gar kein Problem.
No problem.
Frag ihn mal, ob er nochmal nach Deutschland kommt.
He asked if you come to Germany sometime
Ich würde ihn
soon.
gern zum Essen einladen.
Really would like to
Invite.
invite you to dinner or something.
Here's what I would like to do for you. Listen carefully.
Er möchte dir sagen, was er für dich tun kann.
If you can send me the book in English,
Wenn du ihm das Buch in Englisch senden kannst.
and if I agree with it,
Und wenn er damit übereinstimmt,
I will write the foreword to your book.
wird er das Vorwort für dein Buch schreiben.
This is very good. Thank you very much.
He's really, really grateful right now.
Frag ihn mal, ob er auf Geschichten steht oder auf Fantasy-Geschichten.
He will do it, of course. Do you like fantasy stories?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We call it science fiction. I love it. I love fantasy stories.
Sehr gut gefallen.
He says he is really convinced that this story will you will really like his story. He knows it.
Okay. Okay, send it to me right away.
Yeah, he will.
Sehr gerne.
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah. This is my English is not so good. Bleiben bei Deutsch. Bleiben bei Deutsch. Ich habe gar keine Fragen mehr. Ich fand dieser Ratschlag schon sehr cool. Sag Ihnen das gerne einmal.
He doesn't have any further questions. It really helped him what you said to him and what you.
I'm very glad. Thank you. We have
Freue
5
mich
minutes
immer.
left. Torge,
Yeah.
we have 5 minutes left. How
Yeah,
can I
no.
serve you?
Raik, Raik, Mann, ich bin so in
Yes.
Englisch. Raik, du willst was sagen?
Yes. Hello, Neil. I'm sorry, my English is not very well because in the school I learned French and Russian. Nicholas can translate for me. Is this okay? You are yes.
Yes, but this was
Wunderbar.
gut
Ja.
verständlich. Das war gut.
Okay, thank you, danke. Ich mache trotzdem Deutsch weiter, weil mehr kann ich nicht. Ich mache gerade mit einem interessanten Freund Podcasts für die neue Zeit, also für die New Age. Kannst du das mal so sagen?
Yeah, he creates together with a friend a podcast for New Age.
Kannst du es lesen?
Quantum Consciousness is the first book.
Wie Spiritualität Menschen und Erde heilt, die Lehren aus meiner Gotterfahrung.
Mhm. How spirituality heals mankind and the earth.
Hm?
Mhm.
And his name is André Buchheim. Und das war praktisch das zweite Buch, das nennt sich Manifest der neuen Zeit.
Second book,
Making
Manifest.
make a new time, yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
New Time, New Chart. Weckruf
If
für
he
die neue
stays here.
Zeit, wo beschrieben steht, wie die Menschheit handeln müsste, um eine neue Zeit, ein neues Zeitalter zu erschaffen.
Mhm. And he describes how mankind should behave to create this new age.
Das Interessante ist, er hat mir mal gesagt, als er deine Bücher gelesen hat oder Teile von deinen Büchern gelesen hat,
And once you read your books or part of your books, he said something.
We have 2 minutes left.
okay, yes, hat er gesagt, dass er aus deinen Büchern den gleichen Wortlaut gelesen hat, wie Gott ihm das gesagt hat.
So somehow in your books, he found the same wording as he found for his own book.
Gut, dann thank you very much, Neil.
Yes.
Neil, at the end, do you like to hear the first Pantheism-Joke of the world? I had a joke. I had a really good joke. A pantheist, Christian and Muslim meet. The Christian and the Muslim ask the pantheist, do you actually want? And the pantheist says, everything.
Of course.
It's good.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Neil.
I'm glad we had a
Bye.
chance to
Bye.
spend this hour together.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.
Bye
Until
for
the
now.
next time, my friend. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.